What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. You already know it's your big bro Nate. If you guys are new to the channel, I do want to say welcome. Guys, we're going to jump right into today's topic, and that's going to be why I gave up on the red pill. Now guys, if you've heard anything about the red pill, you've heard that it's supposed to be the key to life, right? If you've ever watched The Matrix, it makes an illustration of this. The red pill is the way of truth. It opens your eyes. It's the only way, right? There's either red or blue. And red is that path that many people do not choose, but it's ultimately going to be the right path, the true path, right? Now hear me out. When I say I gave up on the red pill, I do not mean that I'm giving up on truth, right? What I mean by that is I'm giving up on this crazy idea, this blown out of proportion mindset that a lot of guys have completely subscribed to. All right, so let's talk about the biggest problems behind red pill. If you guys have never heard about red pill, let me give you just a quick rundown. This red pill idea has been around for many years, but it got extremely popular when you had someone like Andrew Tate come to the surface. When he came to the surface, a lot of other people started to come out and talk about these things, sort of parroting what he was saying, right? How you have to treat people this way, you have to just chase the money, you gotta be a ladies' man, but you gotta be a fighter, but you gotta be an alpha, but you gotta be this and that. A lot of guys took that and ran with it. And I'm not saying that there's not a lot of truth behind those things, but what I am saying is that there is a dark path ahead if you only subscribe to that way of thinking, if you only go down that path. And by the end of this video, you guys are going to understand that if you keep going down this path, it's going to lead to something else. And some of you guys might know what I'm getting at here, but stay tuned. Let me give you guys just a little bit of a backdrop as well on the things I've quickly gone through in my life, right? So growing up, like I've told you before, I was extremely introverted, extremely shy. I grew up very sheltered in a very religious environment, right? And as I grew up, I became much more extroverted, and I realized that I enjoyed being around a lot of people, talking to a lot of people. Talking to women was never a huge issue for me because I always just had confidence in myself. As the years went on and I got into my younger 20s, got into a couple of relationships that really changed my mind about women for some time. Now, what I want you guys to know is there was nothing really different about these relationships other than I let myself become very absorbed in them. All right. Shortly after this is when I started getting into more of this red pill thought, right? The dangerous thing about this, guys, is it starts out giving you hope. It starts out giving you this false sense of control, of this has got to be the way. This is the only way, right? And you have to follow this path this certain way. You have to do things this way, right? There's like a formula for everything. It gets really deep, guys. You can go on forums, you can go on Reddit, you can go look at a lot of other YouTubers out there, and you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're here, you probably already do. And the really scary thing about red pill, guys, is it doesn't stop, right? There's really no end point. There's really no happy ending. And this is what a lot of guys have been falling into, is this mindset of, you know what, life has sucked. Someone's giving me this idea, this option, this way out. And I'm gonna take this way because it seems like I can control it. It seems like there's a formula. As men, we like to think through things logically. We like to see a problem and have a solution. We like to go step A, B, and C. And the issue with this is life is not that simple. Again, there is some truth to these things, but hitting the rewind button just for a quick second, remember when I said I got more extroverted, and I was easily able to talk to women. I might not have known everything about female nature, as a lot of these guys want to, tell you about. Like it's this mystical thing that nobody can quite put their finger on. But if you follow the red pill route, it'll show you exactly what it is. The issue is, guys, I didn't know, therefore I didn't care, and I wasn't catering and trying to make my whole life conform to this ideology, right? So if I look back in the day, knowing what I know now with these terms, with these concepts, I might have been what I would consider more beta in many ways, right? Because I wasn't an asshole in many ways, right? In some ways I probably was. I wasn't a jerk in a lot of ways. I wasn't extremely serious about things. I wasn't extremely masculine about a lot of things. And this is where red pill can get very dangerous if you're not careful, all right? I'm not saying that there's not value in it, guys, but hear me out. There is a point where you go from just living life to trying to conform yourself around an idea and holding on to this idea as gospel that ends up warping your perception around you. You can get into an extremely bitter, resentful place. And a lot of people just say, oh, it's acceptance. Yes and no. You can accept these things without having to follow this, what I would consider radical ideology, right? I'm not saying you have to be a beta, right? And I'm using these terms because a lot of guys know what this means. I'm not saying you gotta be a wimp. I'm not saying you gotta be a nice guy. I'm not saying you gotta be a pushover. What I'm saying is understand that there is a balance to everything in life. A lot of guys out there are gonna end up being extremely red pill because they think that going from one extreme to the other is gonna bring them success. Guys, I'm here to tell you it doesn't. And if it does, it's gonna bring you a very fleeting, temporary high. And you're gonna end up realizing that you're meeting the wrong type of women. You're gonna end up realizing that you're chasing the wrong things, because this red pill, ultimately what it revolves itself around is how much money can I get? How much women can I get? How much can I not care about what other people feel? It's all about me and becoming basically the god of my world, right? As a man, I'm going to become godlike. There's nothing wrong with self-improvement. There's nothing wrong with understanding that people have bad intentions, men and women included. What I started to realize, guys, the more I started to look into these things, the more I started to think of things this way, the more I started to, if you're not careful, you can easily victimize yourself and go, oh my gosh, my whole life I've done it wrong. Every mistake I've ever made could have been avoided if I just did A, B, and C. If I was just a little bit meaner, then she wouldn't have disrespected me, right? If I was just a little bit more alpha, then she wouldn't have left me. If I was and you start to do all these things, and then every time you meet these women, you end up being this judgmental guy, right? And I know there's some guys who are gonna say, oh, well, again, you just have to accept it and it's gonna be in the back of your mind. I understand that. You truly can grasp these things. What I'm saying is understand it, right? Understand it for what it is and move on. Don't dwell in this path. Don't dwell in this red pill mindset, guys. What I started realizing is as the years would go on, right? Just now starting to realize how these things affected me, right? And I'm starting to live life just as is. I started to realize that I was digging myself into a deeper hole. I wasn't able to have successful, fulfilling relationships with women. I wasn't able to relate to women, to have really a good time with women. I was basing all of my present experiences and sort of sabotaging the future ones based off of the negative experiences that I had in the past. And this is what a lot of red pill will do to you. It'll make you look at every negative experience you've ever had, and it will make you angry, right? And people say you got to go through these stages and all that stuff, guys. I really don't think it's true. I really think that this this push, this red pill push, is sort of a feminism for men, right? If you look at a lot of the arguments, if you look at what a lot of women are saying about men, this red pill stuff is very similar. It's just coming from men, right? Well, all women are like this. Well, at the end of the day, women don't care about you. Well, at the end of the day, you have to be rich or women aren't going to respect you. At the end of the day, you have to be as alpha as possible or she's going to leave you. Guys, I'm going to be real with you. If you self-reflect, if you're honest with yourself and look back in your relationships and see where you've gone wrong, or just see where you've gone wrong with those girls that don't text you back or don't talk to you, you can't be so hard on yourself. You got to realize that life, there's a lot of gray areas in life. There's a lot of things that we don't know that's going on with some other person. We don't understand them completely. We can never reach a point where nobody's ever going to hurt us again, right? Or nobody's ever going to disrespect us again. The way you got to think about it is, hey, it's going to be the wrong one until it's the right one. And the best advice I can give you guys, coming from a guy in his later 20s, coming from a guy who's been through all this, who understands it front and back, I understand what you're feeling. At the same time, understand if you take the good with the bad, that is what's going to be the best path for you, is accepting, taking responsibility, understanding that maybe that girl at that time in your life was meant to be a lesson for you. Guys, I messed up with women years and years ago in ways that I can't even fathom doing it now, right? The reasons for that was because I was immature. I was not emotionally available. I was not masculine in certain ways, right? That's just a fact. There's a combination of things. That's on my side. Now you also got to understand, guys, you got to take the responsibility. There is that element of it being somewhat on her side as well. But instead of pointing the finger and saying, oh, all women are just wired this way, right? Like all women are operating off of some bandwidth. Understand that maybe in that time of y'all's life, that was the best option for her. You were the best option for her and vice versa, right? Maybe a better guy for her came along in life. Just like for men, sometimes better women come along. And it's like, why am I dating this chick? Well, I'm gonna break up, right? She's a great girl. We've had a great time. We've had some great experiences, but she's not the one. Or you learn that you're not compatible. Or you learn that there's certain things about the other person that you just don't want to live with. And we have this sunk cost fallacy in our society these days, and it's weighing heavily on relationships. We think if we invest our time and our money, right, for things like dates or just time in general, a lot of people, they have this, if I invest this, then I need to get something back. It needs to be an equal return. And unless you're voicing that, the person that you're putting that on isn't going to understand. And so you can become bitter, you can become resentful because these people aren't giving you what you want back. It ends up being a transactional type of relationship, right? You never want to be in one of those. But you also got to realize that sometimes the more you get to know somebody, it's just not going to work, right? And women are going to do what women are going to do. Men are going to do what men are going to do. People are going to do what people are going to do. There's no way to outguess somebody when it comes to cheating or not. I make a lot of videos on this, guys, because I truly believe, based off of experiences, based off of what I've seen works and what doesn't work, that there's just certain everyday things that you look for in people that make a difference in whether they're going to be honest with you in the future, if they have integrity. It's not this big, grand, oh my goodness, it hit me out of the blue. Every blue moon it is, I get it. Sometimes people are completely blindsided, but again, this is where you have to take responsibility and be honest. You have to be real with yourself. Guys, you have to get in tune with that gut feeling. You have to understand that feeling you had maybe a couple months in of, I don't really think this is going to work, or there's something about this girl that I don't trust, or there's something here that I just know we're not compatible. You've been told as a man that you have to keep going, that you have to endure, that you just persevere, that you take the righteous path and you just keep doing everything you can to make it better. You cannot change women, and guess what, guys? Women cannot change men. People have to change themselves. There is no level you can get to. Everybody online it's always like it's their fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. This is the reason I didn't get this. That's the reason I didn't get it. Okay, guys, sure, it might have been a combination of things, but again, that's when you live and you learn. Don't beat yourself up too much. Learn from it, self-reflect, and move on. So these are really the biggest reasons I moved on from Red Pill, guys. And I think this video is going to be helpful for a lot of guys stuck in this transition. If you guys are thinking through this, if you're still having questions, if you still want to talk about it some more, you can always let me know in the comments. But I want to let you guys know that there is a better path, and that path is just taking life as it is. It's just realizing that life is life, and you're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. You can learn and be better. Find men, what I will say is find men that you can actually look up to and respect, and see what they're doing with their lives and see what kind of women they're attracting. I've always noticed that the guys that you can look up to, it's just, a guy's guy, right? He's always looking out for the other guys around him. He's looking out for the elderly. He's looking out for the women. He's looking out for everybody, right? He's the guy who kind of knows a little bit of everything. He's willing to learn. He's humble. He's confident, right? Look at these guys. Look at their wives. Look at their families. Look at the life that they're living. Look at these type of dudes and see what you can learn from them. Stop worrying so much about the millionaires on YouTube or Instagram who are showing you their highlight reels, telling you that this is what it means to be a man. This is what you need to be a man, right? Buy my course to be a man. Get these girls to be a man. Get these cars to be a man. Get all these things, right? Some of that might come with it as you go. But understand that as a man, you live, you learn. You make mistakes, you fail, you fall down, you get up, you keep going, you persevere. You don't dwell on the past, you don't dwell on your mistakes, you don't dwell on the, oh, am I not manly enough, or am I not, guys, take an honest look at yourself in the mirror. You know where you need to improve, but it's not the end of the world. It's not gonna happen overnight. Don't beat yourself up for the failures of the past, the heartbreak of the past, the frustration of the past, right? Keep your head up, guys. It's gonna get better. I'm here for you. It's your big bro, Nate. Hit that like button. Let me know what you guys think. And Lord willing, I will see y'all in the next one.